In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how MainWP works. It is a management platform. It's just a plugin actually, but it turns your WordPress site into a management platform like ManageWP, which you may have heard of. MainWP is your own self-hosted version of that and allows you to manage multiple sites of your own or of clients or of a combination of that and manage them all from one dashboard. And I'm going to show you how to set that up for free. It's a free plugin. There are some paid extensions to it that you may or may not need, but the plugin itself is free. Everything I'm going to show you in this tutorial is free, and you can be managing your sites, which allows you to do plugin updates to all your sites at once. It allows you to push code out to all your sites at once, allows you to install new plugins all at once, theme updates, and all kinds of security related things. And the great thing is it's a huge time saver because all this stuff is pushed out from your main platform out to all your sites. And I'm going to show you how to build that right now. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. It's Bjorn from WPLearningLab, where we help you get better at WordPress so you can earn more for yourself, for your clients, and for your business. If it's your first time here and you like WordPress tips and tricks and getting better at it and serving your clients better, then start now by clicking subscribe, then click the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything, and make sure you sign up for the private WPLearningLab Facebook group where we can hang out, ask questions, help each other get better at WordPress. There's a link in the description down below, so make sure you check that out. And with that out of the way, let's head into the screen capture. I've been using MainWP for a number of years now. Before MainWP, I used ManageWP or WP Manage. I always get mixed up what order that is, but I used them for quite a while. And the more clients you have on there, the more you pay. You do get bulk discounts for having more and more, but essentially, the more you have on there, the more you pay because you pay for their services per membership. Whereas with MainWP, I use some of their paid extensions, which you don't need. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use all the free ones, or not all of them, but use free ones to set up your management, and that's pretty much all you need. But they do have paid ones, and I got them a couple years ago on a Black Friday sale for one price for lifetime, no yearly update for support and stuff like that. So one price for lifetime, and it's just ended up being a lot cheaper for me to go with MainWP, and the services they provide are just as good. So what I'm going to show you in this tutorial is how to set up your MainWP dashboard and add a site to it and start managing sites. And you can have unlimited sites on here. I'm just going to quickly, before I do that, go to the MainWP extensions and also have an affiliate link down in the description down below. So if you do end up deciding to buy MainWP, if you purchase through that link, it doesn't make it more expensive for you, but MainWP sends me a few dollars for the referral, which helps to keep the lights on, helps me making these tutorials for you. But as you can see when you scroll down, most of these options are free anyway. The Advanced Uptime Monitor, it connects with a service called Uptime Robot. I have another tutorial for that. Card just popped up above where you can check that out. It allows you to check your site every 5 minutes to see if it's up. And with the free version of Uptime Monitor, Uptime Robot, I think you can check up to 5 websites with that service for free every 5 minutes. So, that might work out for you just perfectly. Another one I use quite often, you could go here and read through these. I'm not going to read through all of them for you because I know you can read. So another one I use quite often is a Broken Link Checker. It is a paid one. There are link checker plugins you can use as well. But for SEO purposes, it's always good to have a handle on broken links because links break all the time. If your clients have websites that they're using and they're active with them, there's going to be broken links. And for SEO reasons, you want to make sure those links are redirected, and this will help you detect the broken links before they become a problem. If you do want to have clients, you can send them reports. A lot of people use this as just their own management system because, like for example, there's a time when I had 200 websites and I was trying to manage all of them, and I didn't want to log into everyone and update everything. It's so manual and such a pain. But if you have clients, you can have reports add-on that sends your clients reports that shows them the value you bring to them, the things that you've updated this month, the security concerns you've addressed this month or in the previous month. And they're less likely to either try to renegotiate with you or cancel altogether. Another add-on I like a lot is the clone feature, which allows you to instantly clone a website. So you've built a great website, or say you have a template website that you want to start all your clients off on. It has all your favorite plugins on it, all your favorite settings. This clone tool allows you to just go, boom, there's the other website, cloned, done. Clean and Lock is free. It's one that I use. It allows you to basically hide your WP main site. I always put my WP main on a different site, usually a subdomain. In the example that I'm doing for you here, I added a subdomain to my testing site, but I always have it on a subdomain. I always have it as its own install. You can add it, it's just a plugin you can add to any website if you want, but I like to just keep it separate, keep it clean, and this helps me hide it, essentially. When someone goes to the website, they're not going to see its WP main dashboard or anything. They'll just be redirected to somewhere else. Some of my other favorite ones, iTheme Security. Fortunately, it's a paid one, but it's great because it allows you to set your security settings in iTheme Security once, and then every time you install iTheme Security somewhere else, you can just migrate all the settings over to there with one click. Super simple. There's a great backup plugin on here. Security, you can integrate their malware scanner for free right here, which is pretty awesome. There's a staging site option as well. Spinner, I don't spin articles. Updraft Plus is a great backup plugin, and the add-on's free. And you can, again, instantly just have Updraft Plus migrate all the settings to all the websites under your control, and just with one click. And it doesn't matter if you have 5 websites or 1,000 websites on MainWP. One click, it's dispersed to all of them. Super, super simple. Another one I use quite often is this one here, the vulnerability checker, just because it's always good to just scan things. And when you have a plugin that you can add to MainWP and it does the checking for you and for all the websites at the same time, this makes life super simple. So that's enough about this. Again, go to this website, check out the extensions, so you can read through all of them. There's quite a lot of them that are really, really useful. Back into the dashboard here, this is the subdomain I created. It's called support.wp-phd.com. If you want to make this on the subdomain or you want to create a subdomain, I've linked a tutorial in the card up above that shows you how to create a subdomain website. Click on that, check it out. This can be in a subdomain. You can put it in a subdirectory. So I could have put this into a URL that looks like this and have that be a separate WordPress install where I host my dashboard. Or you can have a completely separate .com or a completely separate URL for it. My point is, if you want to do a subdomain, click the card above. Next, go to plugins, click on add new, search for MainWP. 4 different plugins. The main one is WP Main Dashboard. That's the one you install on your central site. WP Main Child is what you would install on a client site, and then you connect the two. We're going to install the main dashboard here. Here's 2 other plugins for free. There's a basic reporting plugin and a key maker, which allows you to bulk manage settings across all the sites, which is really handy. But we're just going to install this one, and then on a second site, install this one. So let's install the dashboard plugin by clicking install now, and then activate. And this will bring up a wizard that we walk through to set up all the settings, which we're going to walk through right now as well. These are the steps you see at the top. A lot of plugins these days have an onboarding process like this, instead of just making you go to their settings page and then walk through a list of settings. This is much easier. Anyhow, you can skip it by clicking on it right now, or let's go to actually do it, and that's what we're going to do. So you can install this in 2 different places. A web host, which we currently have because this is in InMotion hosting, and it's on a hosting account. You can also install this locally using, I like one called Flywheel, but I would use Mac OS. You can choose Linux or Windows, but there's a cool app called Flywheel, so you can install this locally. You can also use MAP or XAMPP, depending what operating system you have. But you can actually use WP Main to manage sites from your local server, so your local computer. So if you're concerned about the MainWP site being hacked and then someone getting access to all of the sites that you manage there, it's super simple to have it on your local host and have it managed from there. Much harder to hack. I'm going to choose web host, click continue. One of the great features I neglected to mention in that last comment is that when you have sites under management, it takes just one click to log into that site. So if your MainWP dashboard is hacked, the person who gets into that dashboard has one-click access without entering passwords, usernames, login addresses, anything. Just one-click access into the dashboards of all the managed sites. It's a security concern. That's why the local host option is a very viable option. That's also why I like to have MainWP on its own install, because I can lock that down a lot more than I could a website that has a blog and public-facing stuff. I can make the entire subdomain non-public facing and just have a secret login address somewhere and make it much harder to hack and access. So here we have a check to make sure we have current PHP, SSL, CURL, and MySQL, and all these passed. These are more likely all passed for you if you're using an up-to-date host. Nothing to do there except for click continue. Our hosting setup, what type of hosting is this dashboard site on? Shared, VPS, or dedicated? Mine's on shared hosting. How many child sites are you planning to manage? Less than 50, more than 50. There must be more options when you choose this one. Here, running more than 50 sites and shared hosting can be intensive. So they're recommending if you have more than 50, you choose VPS or dedicated. But I'm going to be doing more than 50 in this example. In fact, just one. Click on continue. These are all settings you can change later as well. And this isn't actually a setting that really is on the site itself. It's just advisory to you. So if you're thinking of doing more than 50, or if you have more than 50, you're looking at dedicated hosting. Or you can go with ManageWP, which is hosted in the cloud. Third-party app. You don't have to worry about how many sites you have on there. Next question. Do you want to hide your MainWP network? In my case, I do want to hide it because I just have this one site dedicated to just MainWP. So I'm going to hide MainWP so that search engines and competitors can't find it, and hackers for that matter. Add MainWP child to trusted updates. Automatically is chosen yes, and trusted updates means that when there was updates available for MainWP child, if they're trusted, those updates are pushed out immediately. So in the back end, when you set up websites, and we set up the settings, you can choose which plugins you trust and which ones you don't. So trusted plugins would be updated immediately as soon as updates are available without your intervention. And when you wouldn't want to do this is if there's a plugin that you've had a bad experience with in the past, or multiple, where when you update that specific plugin, it causes problems on the site. You might want to do that one manually. The ones that never seem to have any problems, like Akismet, never has any problems. SEO Yoast, I've never seen any problems with those updates. Those ones could be trusted updates, for example, and they automatically receive updates and they're automatically done. So in this question, the WP child is the extension that you put on other websites to connect to your dashboard. I'm just going to keep that as trusted. Then click on continue. Do you want to receive important email notifications from your dashboard? I always choose yes, because why would you not want to see important messages? Usually things that are important are things like, hey, something broke. You should come check this out. And you want to know those things. So I always have yes. Add an email address here. You can add multiple if you want. Just click on add new to add multiple email addresses. Click on continue once you have that set up. Are you planning on using MainWP for backups? This example, I'm going to choose yes. You might have certain clients that are on hosting accounts like WP Engine that automates backups every day, multiple times a day. Maybe you don't want to keep backups for them, which you can set individually on a per site basis. But overall, you might have a client that needs backup service. So I'm going to keep this as yes. And how do you want to handle backups? There's 3 options. I like the Updraft Plus. The other ones are great as well. Updraft Plus is a newer one, more features, and there's a free add-on that we saw earlier in the extensions page for MainWP, and this will install that free add-on right now. So let's click on continue and carry on. So since we chose to do backups and we chose Updraft Plus, this is saying that we should get a free account at MainWP to be able to access that plugin. We actually don't need that. We can click here to download the plugin and install it, and we get a free account later, or not at all if you don't want to. I don't know why you wouldn't. The free account gives you access to free extensions that you download there, then you can install on your site. I'm just going to click here to download it and then carry on. And we got an error, which is awesome. So we're going to have to create that account anyway and get that plugin later. I'm going to click on continue to carry on. WP Cron Trigger. The WP Cron is basically a way to automate processes on your WordPress site. And the WP Cron itself runs every time there's a visitor to your website. If there are no visitors to your site, like this MainWP site will not have visitors because we don't want it to. It's going to be hidden in this example. So the WP Cron won't be triggered almost ever. And that means that certain things aren't going to run in the background. Things like, should I go check these sites to see if there's plugin updates? Should I back up these sites? Should I do something? WP Main won't get that trigger to decide whether it should do something at that point. That's why this is asking if you want to authorize Uptime Robot, which allows you to, again, monitor uptime. We saw that extension earlier. But with a free account, it will come to your site every 5 minutes to see if it's still up. And that visit every 5 minutes will trigger the WP Cron. So you have this site hidden from everybody, but still have WP Cron running as long as you authorize Uptime Robot. And again, in a different tutorial linked to in the description down below, we create an Uptime Robot account. I'm not going to go through that here, but when you have the account, you can authorize it on this step. Click on continue. Now we're going to clean up our dashboard. This is saying if we install our dashboard on a brand new dedicated site. If you put this plugin on an existing site, you don't want to clean up much stuff because basically it's going to remove these things from your site. So in our dashboard, I'm going to remove posts, media, pages, comments. I'll keep tools, dashboard, appearance. I'll take out appearance too. Tools, users, and dashboard I will keep. You can change these later by going to WP or MainWP settings and then tools. So if we hide the tools and we can't go to tools, so I always keep that one unchecked. Use WP Main sidebar navigation. Yes or no. Again, if you're installing this on an existing site, choose no, because this will replace the sidebar on your site, which you don't want. So this is a dedicated site, so I'm going to keep it at yes. So make sure you choose these options based on whether this is a dedicated site for you or added to a different site. Click on continue when you're ready. And now we're ready to add a new site, which you can do by clicking add new right here. First, I want to go to the dashboard to show you something else though. So this is the new site adder. There's a tour here. We're not going to go through the tour, but we're going to add a new site in just a moment. First, I want to show you something else. When we go over to WP Main and to settings, a lot of those settings that we just set a moment ago, you can find on this page. So all those settings we walk through in that wizard, you can change later. So don't worry about choosing the wrong thing right now, especially if you have it on a dedicated website, then there's really nothing wrong you can do, and you always change them later. So here we have some messages to work on. WP Main is almost ready. Please connect your first site, which we'll do in a minute. You've not set WP Main child plugins for auto updates. This is highly recommended, so I'm going to turn that on. Here it says we highly recommend the new WordPress install for your WP Main dashboard, which we've done in this case. It's an awkward warning. I guess this is the first time they could present this warning, but we just set up the whole thing, and if you put it on a different site, it's now saying put it on its own site. Would have been better to have that earlier in the process, but we didn't. We are going to dismiss all these notices, and now we're going to connect our first site by clicking on Connect Your First Site. I'm going to put this onto a site called GoTimeSummits.com. It is HTTPS. Hold on a second here. There, HTTPS. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. I'm going to put it on that site. The Administer Username, which is the username to log into that site. Just got to look that up. There's the username. Site friendly name. This is what you'll see in your backend for the site friendly name. So I'm just going to capitalize this so it's easier to read. Go Time Summits. You can add it to a group. So if you have a large number of clients, you could have groups for specific industries or groups for clients. Maybe you have clients with multiple sites. Maybe you have your own sites and client sites. So group it however you feel is necessary, but you can add groups and it makes it a lot easier to manage your stuff. The child unique security ID is not required anymore, but I like to use it just because I like to use it. I like to think it adds a little more security, even though I don't actually think it does. It's kind of a placebo, but I'll show you how to get that security ID in just a second. For verify certificate, if the website you're adding has an SSL, keep this as yes. SSL version, you can auto detect it or you can pick one. I usually leave it as auto detect. I usually use all these defaults actually. Force IP4, default is yes, I'm gonna keep it as yes. For the HTTP username and password, if the site has a HTTP authentication before you can see the login form, this would be where you add that login information. Most sites don't, so don't worry about that. I'm going to get this unique security ID by installing the plugin on this GoTime Summit site. This is going to be the client example in this case. We're going to go plugins and add new. We're going to install the MainWP child plugin. So just search for MainWP. MainWP child is the one we want. Install now, activate. So here's a message saying we need to install this to our dashboard now in all caps and bold, meaning this is important, and that's what we're going to do. If you don't do this now, and like I said a moment ago, you don't need this security ID anymore. It used to be it was required, but not anymore, which means if somebody else somehow knew you just added this child plugin to this site, they could add it to their main WP Main dashboard, because all I have to do is add in to the URL and they're done. So that's why it's saying now, or if you're not ready yet, deactivate the plugin until you are ready. We're going to do it right now. We're going to go to settings and then MainWP child. And I'm going to check right here, require unique security ID, and then save changes. I'm going to copy this ID. I'm going to paste it right here. Click on add new site. Here we have a message saying adding the site to MainWP. It's doing some work. And we should get a success message. No success message, but it shows up here as our site is added. Now, whenever you want to sync data, you can actually just sync it by clicking on this link. If you have a bunch of sites, you can check the box, click on sync, click on apply, and sync all of them. That just goes out and checks if any updates are required. So this is showing a 1, which means there's 1 update available. If we go back to the site here, we can see we have 1 update available right here. This quickly going through the other options on the MainWP child. You don't really have to set anything else, but just so you're aware of what there is. There's a restore option, which means you can restore from a backup. If you have auto backups, this is great to be able to restore right in the site as well. You can do it through the dashboard. We'll get into that in just a minute. Server information gives you basic info about the server. You only really need that information if you're troubleshooting or if you need support help from MainWP. Server information comes in useful, as does connection details for troubleshooting when there's problems. Most of the time, all you do is just install the child plugin, get the security code or not if you don't want to, and then use that to add the site. And now we have this site in here, and we have our dashboard on the left here with all kinds of options. Lots and lots of options. And in this dashboard, one of the most used places you're going to find you're often using is the Updates tab. Overview as well, but Updates is where the work is actually done. So the first thing you do is you check the date to see when the last update was, in this case 19 minutes ago, so it's fairly recent. If it was a while ago, like a couple days for whatever reason, if you have Uptime Robot installed, it shouldn't go that long. It should be every 5 minutes that this is synced. But if it has been a long time, then you can click on Sync with Child Sites, and it goes out and it checks to see if there's any updates available. And then it lists them down here. And it lists the number of updates. In this case, we only have 1, and it's 1 theme update. Then you click on Update All. In our case, I believe, let's double check, in the child site, it's the Divi theme update, which is a manual update. At least I think it is. Let's just try this. See if we can click on just Update All. Since there's only 1, let's see if we can update the Divi theme. I don't think it can, but I'm pretty sure it's a manual update for the Divi theme, and it failed. Yeah, it's a manual update. And if you have an update that has failed or didn't go through, it would just stay here. So if you had 10 updates, for example, and one of them failed, this would change from a 10 to a 1. If you click on Theme Update Available, it shows you what that update is. And then click on Update, and it shows you which site it's on and what the version numbers are. You can also click on Ignore, which I don't think that's really that useful because you always want to update themes and plugins. Even if you can't update them remotely, in the case of Divi, you want to be able to update stuff. So you'd always want to, I think, always know updates are needed and not ignore them. If we want to have that trusted plugin thing I talked about earlier, go to Plugins, and then we head over to Auto Updates, and this will allow us to add trusted or untrusted plugins to a list. And if the plugins are trusted, those are the ones that are updated automatically by MainWP. So you don't ever have to touch them. Akismet often gets updates, and it's never caused a problem ever on any of my sites. Not to say it can't in the future, I'm just saying it hasn't yet. So I would add that to a list of trusted plugins that are auto-updated, which means I don't have to just drop everything and do these updates before the site gets hacked. It allows me a little more peace of mind. And if there is a problem, we check that notification thing earlier where we're emailed if there's important messages, and that will tell us if there's a problem or not. Something really awesome as well, I am just going to log out of this site, and we're going to use the one-click login to log back in. So if you go to Sites over here, and then Manage Sites, and then hover over the site information, and then click on Open WP Admin. It logs us right into the dashboard of that website. And this is what I was talking about earlier with the security vulnerability. If someone does hack your site that has MainWP on it, they have one-click access to all the sites that you manage, which could be a big security risk. That's why having it on its own domain or even as a local site on your hard drive makes it more secure. If you go over to the Overview tab, it gives you basically a snapshot of all the stuff going on with the sites that you manage. With the updates here, you can add more boxes. As you can see, you can drag and drop boxes here. You can add different things to this dashboard. If you scroll down, you can see the connection statuses of the sites, recent posts published, recent pages published, security issues, other extensions you can add for free, and then you can get more extensions paid, and then helpful links with more information. One of the things I didn't mention that MainWP does that I never use it for is you can post to all the sites that you manage. Maybe not your client sites unless that's what they hired you for. But either way, any of the sites under your management you can post to remotely right from here. You can go to whatever site you want, click on create new post, and you can publish it right from here. You can drip posts out, so you can publish a whole bunch and have MainWP drip them out. You can publish the same post to all your sites. You can publish different posts to each site. Another cool feature, if we head over to plugins, and then click on Manage Plugins, we can search for plugins on all managed sites and selectively activate and deactivate or delete them through this little panel. And a great example of this is something that happened recently. Let's see if I can find the article. It was about a clone plugin SEO hack on the WordFence blog. Maybe that'll turn it up. Oh, this one right here. No, not this one. By the way, this is a good example. If you, for example, had Duplicator or SEO Yoast, which a lot of websites have, and SEO Yoast has a vulnerability, SEO Yoast might not be the best example. Let's say Duplicator, which is a plugin used to move a website that you don't have to have installed after you move the site. But sometimes you just forget to, or you don't really care. But maybe you should care because now it's vulnerable to a hack. And you can go into this panel here and search for Duplicator. In this case, this one site doesn't have it. So let's say duplicate. That is a plugin on this site. We put in the keyword, check the site, click on Show Plugins. It goes out and checks which sites have that plugin, shows a list here. And then you can check the box beside the site. So if you this is where you can selectively activate and deactivate. So all the sites that are listed here will have the plugin. Check the box beside the ones you want to take an action on. Then you can choose the action, like deactivate. Then click on confirm. If we go, show you how this works. If we go to here, this is our child site. We go to plugins. We have the duplicate page plugin right here and it's active. Now we've checked this box. We've chosen deactivate. Click on confirm. Now if everything went well, it has now deactivated this plugin. Let's refresh this page. And now this plugin is deactivated. And that's how fast it was. And doesn't take much longer to do this over a whole ton of websites. You may have experienced this before or you may not have, but let's say you have a list of things you want to do today and you're all excited and you're pumped to do these things. And all of a sudden you get a notification saying, hey, a plugin that is on every single site you manage is hacked. So you better go update it or deactivate it or delete it, whatever the case may be. And now you have to go and not do that list you're pumped about, and instead log into every site that you manage. And if there's a lot of them, it takes a lot of time. Or you can go into your MainWP and just do what I just did and do it really quickly. And this is free, right? Everything I've shown you so far with MainWP is totally free, so why would you not do this? If you have just 2 websites that you manage and they're both yours, this just saves you time. It saves you time. And time is a very, very valuable resource. If we head over to themes, go to manage themes, same idea. We can search for themes by keyword. Usually themes don't have major vulnerabilities that would cause us to deactivate and delete them, but it's an option in the dashboard. And both of these, themes and plugins, have an install tab. In this install tab, you can choose a plugin just like you would in the regular repository. This is themes. Let's go back to plugins and go to their install. So let's say we wanted all of sites we managed to have WP Super Cache installed. Click that circle, install this plugin, check the sites you want installed on. We can activate the plugin after installation and overwrite existing plugin if it's already installed, which is important for some cases. You can give them both checked to install from the repository. Click on complete installation. Installation is successful on one site. We go back over here, refresh the plugin page, and we're going to have WP Super Cache installed and activated. Obviously, you have to configure a few settings, which might take some time if you have a bunch of sites, or does it? Well, depending what you have going on with your MainWP, there is an extension. It's a paid one, but it's a major, major time saver. It is called, if I can find it, there it is, Bulk Settings Manager. It allows you from inside your MainWP dashboard to push out WP core settings and settings for almost any WordPress plugin and theme. I tried to highlight that, but I clicked on it. Here, almost any WordPress plugin and theme. For sure the popular ones, WP Super Cache is a highly used plugin, and you can have the settings. You set the settings in the MainWP dashboard, and you send them out to as many sites under management as you have. Super fast. That one is not free, like it says, $39. But it's well worth the time. If you find that you're spending a lot of time doing this, that is well worth it. And everything I've shown you here so far is totally free, so I encourage you to check it out. ManageWP is one of the big competitors of MainWP. It's a bigger competitor, it's a bigger company. They released a free tier recently, which does a lot of cool stuff. I haven't tried it out yet, but it might be just as valuable as MainWP as far as free things go. Like I said, I don't have a tutorial for that yet because I haven't actually tried it, but I will try it out, make a tutorial for it, because it's always great to have these free resources that help you run your business faster, better, and smarter. This is just scratching the surface for MainWP, what I showed you here. If you want more on MainWP, let me know in the comments down below what you want to know specifically, and I'll look into making a tutorial for you. So that's how we do it. I hope this video helps you. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit subscribe, then the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Check out the private Facebook group and the link in the description down below. And next up, check out one of these videos that popped up on the right-hand side so you can get even better at WordPress. And until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.